Whoa, so what is growing on? It is the beginning of February and I am back down here in Brandon. This project that we did here some months back, and I figured I'd make a follow-up video for you. We're doing a little bit of pruning, fertilizing, and mulching here today. Came back a couple of weeks ago, touched up some irrigation. We actually had to do some paver work here. Client said, come back to do some spring pruning. So we're not quite into spring yet, although it is probably 80 degrees here today in Florida. So show you guys what's going on. This garden turned out really, really nice. You can see we did just have 25 degrees, so you know, some of the salvias took a little burn. The Mexican sunflower, we've hard pruned everything. All that organic material is actually right here in this pile. The guys did cut back the Dune sunflower a little bit off of this edge. It got very tall, looks quite beautiful in here. A lot of things are dormant right now, a lot of things are getting cut back. And this place is a mess that I figured before they get really pretty, I wanted to show you in the stage of a mess, in the stage of a cutback. They're at lunch right now. You can see that the vetiver grasses have just been cut back, and you know, those things already have a couple of inch shoots. They grow back fast. I mean, within days they'll be putting out shoots again. Same thing with the muley grass. Lemongrass here did really well. And kind of show you guys around this jungle. Hopefully I hang around long enough to show you the finished product. Blue porterweed, that definitely took a little bit of frost damage. The Dune sunflower, no problem. The cranberry hibiscus also took a little bit of cold damage. You can even see the perennial peanut took a little bit of cold damage. That is rhizomal, that will come back. With Leucoche viburnum in here, all looks really good. There looks like they use the same frost blanket we use. I am seeing a little bit of that Mexican petunia coming back here in the corner, so the guys still have a little bit of hand pruning to do. But even that Turk's cap hibiscus over here along the fence did take some frost damage. That's what this is with the brown leaves. You can see it already has new growth down there on the bottom. That will all push right back out fairly quickly. Big Mexican sunflower got cut back, and Vitex will go dormant in the wintertime, so there is a short period of time, unlike a crepe myrtle where the Vitex does lose some leaves, and this is that time of year. It looks a little bit rough for maybe 6 weeks or so. It flowers the entire rest of the year though, so I think it's worth that little bit of dormancy you get in the wintertime for what the plant does the rest of the year. You can see that peanut down in here. I can't believe how much frost they had in this garden area. Really got kind of hit. I see the butterfly pea got hit. Everything else in here really filled out nice. When I was here a couple of weeks ago, it was pre-frost and pre my idea to get out here at the camera. I didn't walk in here before I picked this up, so a lot of this stuff I'm seeing just for the first time now, guys, also, just so you know. Planter beds up by the house are doing really good. These olives are doing great. Pineapple guavas up by the house. Filled in really well. Gaillardia is doing pretty good here. All of this stuff still to get cut back. That is a big sweet almond in there. These are some really tall salvias. They still have to be pruned and cut out. Looks like we have a mulberry, and what happened here was the mulberry shouldn't have burnt leaves, but the mulberry shouldn't have leaves. We're not at the time of year where these should have leaves on them. They should be dormant in the wintertime. Plants are a little bit confused, especially here in Florida. Like we get mild winters, so they think winter's over with. They start leafing out. Sometimes it'll affect the fruit set. Typically, we'll rip these leaves off of here, prune this again, and this tree. Actually, I see little fruits on it too. If you look right here, this tree was already fruiting, so definitely set it back a little bit, but it will be back again in spring. This was another mulberry here in the corner, and this is that green grafted one. Looks like the guys just topped it out today with the loppers. The Florida cracker rose doing really good. The bullvine took the cold really well. Obviously all the cranberry hibiscus are going to get cut back. Loquats are super cold hardy. Gaillardia is super cold hardy. This place is a jungle. And you can see the Dune sunflower does tend to grow kind of quick. Overgrowing the paths there kind of fast, so they're cutting all this back flush up with the paths. And we're just kind of giving everything a little bit of a touch of mulch. I think they've finished this side and pulled this side out. You can see they're already starting to spread some mulch over the garden. Just getting a light coat in all of these beds. These salvias are already all cut back. And you guys ready for some of that frost damage? So here's a little bit of the frost damage. You can see the papaya got totally zapped. Bananas, even in this protected corner of the house, right up against the house, still got hit. Obviously no overhead protection. Commonly in open areas, you do see frost landing on the roof. So it's right up next to it. They got nailed a little bit. Some of those bottom leaves are green, will come back in spring. It's not gonna kill the tree, just gonna slow down fruit set a little bit. Katuk back in here all got cut back. Jaboticaba looks like it's got a little bit of cold kind of damage. Not gonna kill it, but when you see the red in the leaves, usually a pretty good sign that it did get pretty cold here. Monstera doing pretty good. Looks like the native coral bean took a really hard cut back. This was probably huge. I'm just looking at the caliper on this cut. That's that erythrina, native nitrogen fixer. Some native coffee in here doing really well. Some of the tea bushes. A little bit of cold damage on the CCU spinach and the longevity spinach. It will rejuvenate, it will come back. Lots of salvias over here, pruned, Rose of Sharon, Turk's cap hibiscus. The Ethiopian cardamom took the cold really well. Sweet almonds got cut back. Oh, this is actually a big tea tree. This was here when we did the project, so we didn't install this. Beautiful tree, really nice focal point, and it just has some farfugium underneath it, which they can be cold sensitive, but most of them look pretty good. I do see some spots over here on this side, but nothing too crazy. I see a Suriname cherry even has some leaf damage. Those are really cold hardy. What happens is when they're pushing new growth, like a Jaboticaba is pushing new growth, that new growth is a lot more tender. So those leaves that are not fully developed yet, you know, typically on Jaboticabas, they can be yellow, they can be red before they actually harden up to be a green leaf. That's usually what gets fried. I noticed on the Gurumichama, I see a little bit of red in the center of the vein. You gotta remember, we were in the 20s. These are very cold hardy though. Didn't affect it too much. Yapun hollies did get topped out a little bit. We want to keep on creating that downward pattern here. These are the weeping varieties. So, all right, a little bit of debris. That pile's probably going to triple in about size, seeing that this side of the garden's about double the size as this side over here. So a little bit of organic materials coming out. There isn't a lot of room in this tight little, you know, ecological space to do a ton of chop and drop. We are laying some of the grasses in here, but a lot of the bulk material is coming out. If this was a bigger area, if this wasn't up in the front yard, if this was a food forest, all this material would stay here on site. But I think this is a pretty cool site. I'm hoping I'm around long enough to get you guys a finished cleanup product, but I have 2 more appointments, so I probably have to fly. So hope you enjoyed the follow-up. I'll come back to this one in spring. Give me a couple of months right before summer when it fills back out, everything's lush. Give you guys another follow-up because I think this is a pretty epic site. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you hasn't subscribed yet, be sure to pound that bell to stay notified. Most importantly, it's 2022. Get out there and pound some dirt.